Coming to you live from Bunker Hill.
Hey, wind down.
Coming in. Ready?
Okay, wait, we have to say something.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's true.
This is Megan Lee,
And this is Josie Ritchie.
coming to you live from Bunker Hill.
Okay.
The battle on Bunker Hill was fought against the British and the Americans.
On the night of June 16, 1775, American troops received orders from Artemas Ward to move out of the base that they were currently at, and their destination was Bunker Hill. The reason that it was Bunker Hill was because the rebels could bombard the town and British ships in the Boston Harbor. And then once they got to Bunker Hill, the men went to Breed's Hill because it was closer to the British position. At this hill, the Americans kind of accidentally had cannons pointed on the Britons, so the Britons took that as a threat, and they received orders to attack the Americans. An important person in this, the British leader Major General William Howe, was the leader that chose to march troops up the hill because he thought that the Americans would retreat, but instead the ships opened fire on the Americans, and the British soldiers crossed the Charles River and stormed the hills. The Americans waited until the British were really close, and then they opened fire on them. Some of the Britons were hurt, but most just went back downhill because they didn't want to fight. And then when they regrouped, the British rushed the hill for a second time, and then again, most people ran back down the hill. But then the third time the British rushed the Americans had ran low on ammunition, and the British took the hill. So many British soldiers were killed or wounded. Megan will give you exact stats.
And sadly, now we have to talk about how many people died. The British had 115 killed, 305 wounded, and 30 captured, for a total of 450 on the British side. The Americans had 19 soldiers killed, 62 soldiers wounded, and 207 soldiers killed, for a total of 1,054.